Good morning, good afternoon, and welcome, guys. I hope you're having a great Monday so far. I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. Good to see you all. Let's see who we've got. We've got Leia Rose. Hello, lovely. We've got Snorterpooper's Cuba. I promise I'm working on the emoji for you. It will happen. We've got the Bash brother Chris Persia. Good morning, Chris. Pat S. Great to see you. Hello, Pat. We've got Project Storytime. Keep warm, Project Storytime. Four Candles. Good afternoon. Good to see you. We have got SJ Almighty. Hey. Good morning. Keely Chow. Good to see you. Roll Tide, Keely. Hope you're doing well. Zachar 315. Hey, good to see you. We have got Eric K. Good morning, Eric. Good to see you as well. Nearsighted Cyclops. Good morning. Welcome, guys. Hope you are all having a good one today. And Dave G. Sound. Good morning. Hey. Andy Masterson. Good morning to you too as well. Welcome. Hope you're having a good one. So, guys, I was going to cover just a few news stories today. Hope you're having a good Monday. Thought we'd have a bit of a chat and a roundup. Number one, good to see you. It says Peacemaker is the best new show ever. The 80s hair band. Gotta admit, haven't watched it, but I might check it out. I liked Suicide Squad. I thought the film was pretty good, but just haven't got around to watching the show at the moment. Isaj Melody, good morning. Good to see you. Hope you're having a good one as well. So, guys, what I thought I'd start off with is we've got a couple of birthdays that I think are worth mentioning. Obviously, today would have been the birthday of Betty White. She would have been 100 today, but sadly, she passed away on December 31st. Right there with you, Betty. But I would have loved to see her actually get to her 100th birthday. There's been a lot of people talking about her, obviously on Twitter. She's trending at the moment, and people are just saying, how much they miss her and how much of a classy lady she really was. And I kind of agree. Just incidentally, if you do a Google search for her today, there's a really sweet tribute that they've put up with kind of rose petals that fall down across the screen. I thought that was quite nice. So I thought that was quite sweet. But a lot of people are saying because she was such a big supporter of animal charities, she was a huge animal lover, cats, dogs, all that sort of thing. People are saying they're going to make a donation to their local animal charity in her honor, in her name. I think that's a really nice way to kind of remember her, to honor her legacy. So that's probably what I'm going to do as well. We've got dogs' homes and cats' homes and things nearby, so I think we'll do that as well today. Just raise a glass to Betty as well. I think she will be missed. Hello, Cam Cam. Good to see you. Good morning. Snorterpooper said, and bears. She loved bears, and so should you. We all love bears, Snorterpoopers. Absolutely. Good afternoon, Archer Colin, and hello to Jennifer Cisco, my Shield Maiden mod sister. Good to see you. Hope you're having a good one as well. But it is sad, but she will be missed, at least. But the other person who is celebrating a birthday today, who thankfully is still with us, who's just turned 91, is James Earl Jones. I'm a big fan of James Earl Jones, always have been. I think he's iconic as an actor. If you think of all the roles that he's had over the years, he is definitely one of the most distinguished and versatile actors that we have, and I absolutely adore him. Everything from playing Mufasa in The Lion King to coming to America, to obviously the iconic performance that he gave as Darth Vader. So it's such a cool guy. And it's one of those actors. I'm not really big on meeting actors, but he's one of those people that I would really like to meet in person because he comes across as such a nice guy. I really hope that he's as nice as he seems. Isaj Melody says his King Lear was amazing. Yes. Snotterpeepers, yes. The voice of Darth Vader, absolutely. And Conan. Hello, Sean Connery versus Applesauce. Hey, sweetheart. Good to see you. Absolutely. You can tell he was having so much fun in Conan. I love that film. I might watch that later on today, actually. That would be a really cool film to sit down and watch. Four Candles says he was great in Conan. Absolutely. Chris Persia agrees. Don't forget James Earl Jones as Thor Sadoon in Conan. Hell yes. I think that settles it, guys. We're going to have to watch Conan later this evening. Just going back to talking about Betty, Pat says Purple Valkyrie. In New Orleans, they had a parade for her yesterday. Oh, that's really sweet. That's a really nice way to remember her. That's really cool. It's like Melody, that's really nicely put. You live on through the vicarious actions of others with beautiful motives. Well said. That's a really nice sentiment. I love that. Thank you. Archie Collins said James Earl Jones did a great take on himself in The Big Bang Theory. He got Sheldon to play a trick on Carrie Fisher. I think I remember that. I don't think I ever saw the episode, but I've definitely saw the clip. If I remember correctly, he got him to ring her doorbell and then run. Oh. It's cool. I like it. I've got to admit, and I think he's great. So happy birthday to both of them. I think is the best way to say it. But yep, 91 and still going strong. May he be with us for many more years to come. He is a great actor. Love him very much. Project Storytime says, once more into the breach, I'll be lurking. Well, you take care. Absolutely. And Man and War 665, Neighbour of the Beast. Good to see you. Hello, love. Hope you're having a good one as well. So, one of the big stories that has dropped in the past day or so is actually mainly it's to do with the UK. So everybody knows that if you want to watch terrestrial TV, you have to pay your TV license. Basically, there's a annual fee from the BBC, which is £159. That's around about $217 thereabouts, give or take. What the currency rate is going. But yeah, that's what you have to pay if you want to watch terrestrial TV. Now, I don't. I actually cancelled my license a while ago now, probably about 18 months ago, because I just wasn't watching TV anymore. There was no point. Now, it's not illegal to cancel your license. You just don't watch the TV. And I was fine with that because I wasn't getting anything out of it anyway. But they do not like it. And since the BBC has become far less partisan, I think would be the best way to put it, than it used to be. They're definitely more left-leaning now. The shows that they're putting out are not the best quality, and the BBC used to be a bastion. They used to be, the go-to broadcaster when it came to great dramas, documentaries, comedies, you name it, sci-fi, for goodness sake, with Doctor Who. But it is not what it once was. So it has been announced that the annual BBC license is to be frozen for 2 years. This was revealed by UK Culture Secretary Nadine Dorez, and it's expected we're going to get more information this week as it becomes available. So there hasn't been an official government announcement yet, but it was tweeted out, I believe, last night. I saw it starting to trend, and it's trending here at the moment as well, in an article to the UK Daily Mail, which reported the news first, along with the statement. So they said, this licence fee announcement will be the last. The days of the elderly being threatened with prison sentences and bailiffs knocking on doors are over. Time now to discuss and debate new ways of funding, supporting and selling great British content. So that's it. That's what the BBC license fee paid for, basically. So it funded all of the shows that they put on. So they actually get 3.75 billion pounds, which is 5.1 billion dollars license fee, and it is the BBC's primary source of income. As I said, the corporation, they don't use advertising, which is quite rare, whereas other TV shows and TV stations, such as ITV, Channel 4, other terrestrial stations do use advertising. The BBC has always been the one that does not. It goes on to say, with UK inflation rate at 5.1%, the BBC will have to find a hefty chunk of savings, estimated at $2 billion over the next 6 years, to meet the funding gap created by the frozen fee income. Now, this article that I'm reading from comes from Variety. So it goes on to say that certain sections of the government are in favour of scrapping the licence fee model altogether, but that is unlikely to happen before the next governing charter review, which is in December 2027. So we've got a while yet before the fee is completely scrapped. And as I say, if you don't want to pay it, you are perfectly within your rights to cancel. But they have a tendency to put a lot of pressure on people, and I have had first-hand experience of that. You will get people coming to the front door asking, why did you cancel it? Do you realize that you've cancelled it? And you just have to be very firm but very polite and tell them, yes, you know exactly what you were doing, you know the reason, and you don't have to actually answer any more questions if you don't want to. Snodder Pooper says, does the BBC do endless fundraising programs like PBS in the US? They don't do fundraising programs, but there are certain charities that have always been on the BBC. So it's things like Children in Need is a staple, Red Nose Day, that kind of thing has always been in association, but that's for charities. The money, in theory, does not get funneled back into the BBC. Archer says 2 billion, simple, cut all those diversity, inclusion, and equity managers. Absolutely. And that's one of the main reasons that the BBC has been on such a downhill slide for such a long time. As I said, we used to have fantastic documentaries, we used to have brilliant dramas, comedy. The BBC was right up there with fantastic entertainment, but over the last 10 years or so, it's really, really gone downhill. And Four Candles agrees as well. BBC has been going downhill for ages. I agree, absolutely. Paris says, Papa Valkyrie, I saw on the Young Ones that they drive around in a van to see if you're watching TV without paying. Is that true? That is a urban legend. Now, I wouldn't put it past them to try to see if you're, watching TV without a license, but as far as I'm aware, there's no actual way that they can tell who has the license, who doesn't have the license, and what they're watching. What they are more likely to do, as I said, and I've had experience with this, is they keep track of who has cancelled the license, and then they put pressure on people. They will show up at your door and ask, you do realize that you can't watch TV anymore, and you just have to be very firm with them and say, yeah, I know exactly why, and here is my reason. Thank you and have a good day. That's probably the best way to deal with that sort of thing. And Max, relax. Good to see you. Good morning. Hey. Hope you're having a good one as well. Paris says Planet Earth was amazing. Absolutely. I loved that. I love anything with David Attenborough, and that was, their kind of benchmark. Blue Planet was amazing as well. Any of his kind of nature documentaries really, really kind of hit it out of the park. And good morning to Dave Bob. Hey, Dave Bob. Hope you're having a good one as well. Jennifer says PBS is not the PBS from my childhood. I vaguely know a little bit about PBS, but it's something I would have to look into. But I think it's kind of similar, but not quite from what I can tell. And hey, Robert Pearson, good to see you. He says that they did have detector vans, but they were empty and just drove to houses who weren't paying their license to check if they had a TV, but they had no power to come into your house. Absolutely. Yeah, don't invite them in, whatever you do. Answer the door, be polite if you're so inclined, or you can just ignore them. You don't have to answer the door at all. But yeah, they have no actual right or power to come into the house to check to see if your TV is on and what you're watching. But they definitely put pressure on people. I've heard stories and I've seen it myself. Colin says, I've heard they did use those vans, but the area on top was just for show. It's not possible to detect reception, only transmission. Absolutely. Yeah, it's one of those kind of urban legends that kind of got blown out of proportion. So people saw the vans going round and they thought, okay, they're actually checking up on people, and that got people scared. And yeah, it was all smoke and mirrors, of course. The nearsighted Cyclops says PBS got some public money. They also do fundraising for drive donations. Okay, so it's similar, but more kind of they were more proactive in getting their donations. That's kind of cool. Let's see what else they've got to say. So, negotiations over the licence fee have been going on between the BBC and the UK government since 2020. This has really kind of snowballed since 2020. Again, I think a lot of people, because they were staying home, they realised that what we're paying for is absolute drivel. And more people have gone to kind of streaming services. They've gone towards the Amazon, they've gone towards Netflix, they've gone towards whichever one they have a preference over. And that's primarily, I think, what people watch nowadays. Now, for me, what I mostly watch is actually YouTube. If I'm not working, then I will put on or even when I'm working, I will put on a live stream, or I'll put on a show, or I will put on a documentary that I found and watch that. And that's where I primarily get most of my entertainment from. I do have Amazon as well, but no Netflix, as we know. So it goes on to say, earlier this month, BBC Director General Tim Davie had mounted a defence of the licence fee revenue model. Writing in the Sunday Times, Davie said, "Our role as an organisation solely serving the public has allowed us to take the risks on which innovation in the market depends. From the birth of TV and radio to breakthroughs such as iPlayer, which blazed a trail for global streamers and created a new market for video on demand. Our focus again is on innovation and reforming the BBC to ensure it can keep delivering value to audiences in this new world. This means redoubling our efforts in the areas where we are unique and precarious. BBC storytelling, impartial..." I'm sorry, I can't say that without laughing. "Impartial journalism." Love it. Areas such as education, local news, and research and development. Love it. Promising that the BBC would reinvent itself for the digital age, Davie wrote, "We must take compelling digital services, attract the very best talent from every walk of life, understand where the BBC adds value, and listens to all licence fee payers." I'd be more inclined to listen to the people who've stopped paying their licence fee and find out why they're not doing it, but that's just me. He also said, "More than anything, we're here to serve, to work tirelessly to offer every single household outstanding value for the licence fee." Yeah. How's that going for you? It's such Melody says, "Very unbiased indeed." Trinoculars, good morning, good to see you. Soon they'll be adding BBC Plus. Well, they kind of went down that road, didn't they, anyway? Because we've got all, like they were saying, they've got the BBC iPlayer, they've got the BBC Three. On Freeview, there's multiple BBC channels showing different versions. There's the live TV, there's reruns, there's so much stuff. The catch-up TV as well. They've got a huge chunk of the markets. Don't let them be fooled. Dean Krantz, good morning, welcome, good to see you. And SJ Almighty says they should have gives all our money back as compensation for depressing EastEnders. Yeah, I know people that absolutely love EastEnders. I've never been one of those people that love soap operas, so it never meant anything to me, I've got to admit. But yeah, EastEnders is incredibly depressing as a show. Cam says the BBC used to be the premier news and entertainment organisation. Our PBS gets a lot of their programming from them. I thought that was the case because if I remember correctly, Doctor Who was first shown on PBS. If that's correct. If I'm wrong, please correct me in the chat. Dean says, I watched Heel vs Babyface on the BBC's Downfall. Yes, great video that Az did yesterday. I felt the need to hoist a glass in celebration, though I've not watched since they made Doctor Who so bad. They did. It's incredible that they managed to sink their flagship sci-fi show. And I feel so sorry for Whovians out there. Colin says, to be honest, the BBC did indeed benefit, not from being dependent on ad subs. They became infested with far left political views that now dominate it. They do, yeah, and they had the nerve, as I was laughing about, just to say that they are, impartial and impartial journalism and British storytelling and all those areas that they say that they absolutely excel in, and these are the areas that they want to concentrate the most on. Yeah. Jennifer says, as this BBC video is good. It is. It's very good, as always. Manowar 665 Saturday nights on PBS for me in the 80s were Baker Doctor Who and Prisoner repeats. See, I don't think a lot of people would mind if they've started showing that again, especially the Prisoner, because Prisoner's kind of hard to find, at least if you don't have it. It's around, but it's one of those shows that people kind of really heard about, I think, through word of mouth again, at least in the past couple of years, and people wanted to see it, and nowhere was showing it. It was really weird. Snorter Pooper said he used to see Doctor Who, Benny Hill, Monty Python, Masterpiece Theatre, and a ton of BBC comedies on PBS. So it seems that PBS and the BBC really had a strong connection. I wonder if there's going to be a knock-on effect. Probably not, I would imagine, because it's the license fee is just for British households. But I'd be curious to see if there's any kind of blowback between the BBC and PBS after this. Four Candle said, after all the money they get, they still can't put regional news on HD. I noticed that as well back when I used to watch the news. It was really weird. You get it and you could watch it, live, but there was no HD version of it, which was kind of odd. I always thought, considering how much regional TV is actually shown. Cam says, saw Tom as the Doctor on PBS. Back then it took a couple of years before we got stuff. Don't know if it's still true. Maybe Foster now. Maybe. I'm not sure. But that's kind of cool that you guys got it so far back. Dean says, when a network has to tell you how diverse they are, that equals they're not. Absolutely. And the BBC are not. All you have to do is sit down and watch, if you can stomach it, probably a week's worth of the programs that they put on. You can see a bias. There is definitely a left-leaning agenda to the BBC that wasn't there before. Now, this getting rid of the license fee has kind of split a lot of people. A lot of people are saying that because this is being done by the Conservative government, this is just their way of kind of saving face with the absolute debacle that we've had for the past couple of years. With the virus that shall not be named, it's their way of trying to kind of get back into people's good graces, because obviously they're coming to the end of their term and they don't want the Labour Party getting back into power. Now, whether this will help them, I don't think so. I think they're too far gone, and I would be curious to see who people vote for this time, because again, there is no definitive split between the parties anymore. And I don't generally talk politics, but it's worth bringing up at least in this regard. And hello to Chris Wood, good to see you. He says, yep, Baker was my first Doctor as well, the Brit block on PBS. That sounds kind of cool, actually. I like that idea. Loved Channel 4 in the 10s, Purple Valkyrie, all the great comedies, Black Books, In Betweeners, Freshman, good stuff. Watch Friday Night Dinner. Yes, I love Black Books. Black Books was great. I like the older comedies, I gotta admit, but some of the newer ones, and Black Books was one of them. That was really good. Jennifer says that Dad would let me watch Benny Hill because it made me laugh so hard. They all got a kick at seeing me laugh at it. I turned out fine. I loved Benny Hill. I grew up watching Benny Hill. Benny Hill, Goonies. I watched obviously Monty Python. I was a huge fan of. I loved that sort of silly kind of humor. I think it's the surrealism that I loved, and it really struck a chord with me. So it's something that I'm going to be keeping an eye on, definitely. Like I said, it doesn't affect me personally, but I know a lot of people still paying. I think this is a story that's not really going to go away, and I think eventually it is going to be scrapped altogether. If 2027 is the year that they are looking for, I can probably see that, and they're freezing it in 2025, I believe. So it might as well just accept it and just scrap it and try and find funding elsewhere if they can. I don't think the BBC is going to implode. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. But I think there's going to be a massive change when they no longer have this huge license fee income coming their way. But we will see. The next story that I wanted to cover is, again, it's another British story, so bear with me today, guys. We've got a little bit of a British invasion, but it's one that I thought was kind of funny. And this is in regards to Prince Harry, bless him. So Prince Harry seeks judicial review for the decision to pay for his family's protection, police protection in the UK. So as we all know, in 2020, he stepped down from his role in the royal family. It wasn't a decision that a lot of people agreed with, but he did it anyway. And but he has said he wants his family to have proper protection in the UK. In a statement, the Duke of Sussex has threatened to take legal action against a Home Office decision that prevents him from funding private security for his family in his home country. He says that Prince Harry has inherited a security risk at birth for life. He remains sixth in line to the throne, has served 2 tours of combat duty in Afghanistan, and in recent years his family has been subjected to well-documented neo-Nazi extremist threats. Yes, the statement read. So whilst his role within the institution has changed, it's non-existent now, his profile as a member of the royal family has not, nor has the threat to him and his family. It went on, the Duke of Sussex and the Duchess personally fund a private security team for their family, yet that security cannot replicate the necessary police protection needed whilst in the UK. In the absence of such protection, Prince Harry and his family are unable to return to his home. Yeah, somebody get my tiny, tiny violin, please. 4 candles, absolutely. If he wants it, he can pay for it. That would be the way I would look at it personally. He made his decision with his family. He chose that he didn't want to be part of the royal family anymore. He no longer wanted royal duties. And with that, some of the benefits have to be given up. And one of the benefits is the police protection that is afforded to them. Archer says the only thing I feel sorry for about the Meghan Harry situation is the Queen may never see her great granddaughter who was named for her. I agree. Yeah, that is sad when something like this kind of gets in the way. Let's see who else we've got. We've got TZ Canadian. Good morning. Good to see you. Sean Connery at Versus Applesauce says to quote an English person, he can bugger off. Well said. Snorter Poopers. Prince Harry is the one ginger I wish would get cancelled. He cancelled himself, to be honest. Such Melody, bless his heart, as Arwen would say. Indeed. So, yeah, I don't think that now he's under the same protection that he was afforded before. I think I think a lot of people need to realize that, you can sometimes get what you want, but you lose what you had. And this is definitely one of those situations. But let's see what else they've got to say. The statement comes across as a response to a UK tabloid. The legal team said that it was necessary to release a statement as setting the facts straight after the Duke sought a judicial review in September 2021. Harry and his wife Meghan officially stepped back from their role as senior members of the royal family in 2020. That same year, the pair moved to the States with their son Archie. I don't see what the problem is. He has moved to the States. That's where their main home is. If he wants to come back to the UK to visit, let them come back to the UK to visit. It's not like they're trying to get back into the country to live here permanently. Also, in June 2021, the pair welcomed their daughter, Lilibet Diana. Lilibet is such a strange name. I've got to admit, I didn't like it when I heard it. With their decision to become full-time residents in the United States, the pair lost their taxpayer-funded police protection. Again, that's something that we had to pay for and do pay for with the royal family. According to the statement, the Duke offered to personally pay for his family's protection. That was big of him. During a trip to Sandringham in 2020. Although that offer was rejected, the Duke's statement reiterated that he's still willing to pay for security as to not impose on the British taxpayer. Well, I think you've done that plenty already, Harry, so thank you for that one. The statement also noted that during the royals' last visit to the UK in July 2021 for the unveiling of the statue in honour of his late mother, Princess Diana, his security was compromised whilst leaving a charity event due to the absence of police presence. Well, surely that's what his, security is paid for. They're supposed to be protection. You shouldn't have to rely on a police presence. So it seems like they weren't doing their job. The goal for Prince Harry has always been simple, the statement read, to ensure the safety of himself and his family while in the UK, so his children can know his home country. Harry and his wife Meghan and their children have not made any trips back to the UK. And I've got a sneaking suspicion that unless this is sorted and he does get the police protection that he is requesting, they're probably not going to be back anytime soon. Jennifer says Harry used to be cool. He did used to be cool, I've got to admit. Yeah, I used to like him. I've never been a big fan of William, to be honest, but Harry seemed to be, a lot more level-headed until he got married, at least. Cam. Poor little prince, you don't get the benefits without the negatives. I respect his military service, but that's about it. Agreed. Yeah, I agree with that. And like I said, before he was married, he seemed to be, a kind of level-headed kind of guy. He seemed to be pretty down to earth. He did his duties as he should. Yes. Colin, absolutely no offense to our American cousins, but Harry is a prime example of why British royals should never marry American women. And Chris Persia says, did Harry choose or was he told to give up by Meghan? Well, I think that depends on who you believe. I personally would imagine that she put quite a bit of pressure on him to make that choice. I think she wanted to remain in the US with her family and live the life that she was accustomed to, while still being known as being married to the sixth in line for the royal family. But it just seems a very odd decision that he made. Similar to his brother, he always seemed to be very. He seemed to put family first. He was one of those people that really seemed to, take being born into the royal family as a kind of a job almost, I suppose you could look at it. He took it very seriously. He knew his duties. He, as Cam mentioned, he was in the royal services. He was he did tours of Afghanistan. He did what was expected of him for somebody in the royal family. So it's kind of weird. Chris Wood said Lilibet. Yeah, Lilibet Diana. That's the daughter's name. Yes. Gotta admit, it's not a name I'm too fond of. Esther Micey said he was alright until he got married. Yep, I would be inclined to agree. Chris said, wait, didn't they fly to the UK a couple of months ago? That's pretty much what it said. Yes, they visited back, and that's why they're not coming back, because they didn't get the police protection that he thought he was owed. He just had his personal security team, and the personal security team didn't seem to be doing their job very well at the statue unveiling, because it was compromised. I think people got closer to him than he would have liked, or I would have to check the actual story, but they didn't seem to have the level of protection he thought he deserved or was accustomed to. I would say that's his problem for whoever he hired. It's not up to the taxpayers to fund his security team. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Trinoculus says, do many Brits believe in the divine right of kings? No, not anymore. The royal family it's one of those, it kind of splits opinion here in the UK. There are some people who are very staunch royalists. They love what the royal family stands for. They have a lot of respect for the Queen. I respect the Queen for what she stands for her stoicism, for her her entire life. She has been this public figure and has carried herself with a lot of grace and a lot of dignity, especially when members of her family have not done the same. So whilst I'm not a particularly huge fan of the royal family, I do have a lot of respect for the Queen herself. But I think if you did like a poll of average British people, a lot of people would say it's an outdated system. People don't really want to be subjects anymore. They would rather be citizens. And it's one of those arguments that is kind of batted back and forth quite a bit over the years. Should the royal family continue? Is it really necessary? Do they bring what do they bring to the table? That kind of thing. Now they bring a lot of tourism and a lot of I suppose goodwill, but on the flip side, people will always bring up colonialism, for example. So it kind of gets bounded back and forth. And hello to Brandon, the anime guy. Good morning. Good to see you. TZ Canadian says Mel Brooks said it best. It's good to be the king. Indeed. And Jennifer, I know. She is a special case. Megan, I gotta admit, I didn't like her as an actress. I don't like her as a person. She seems to be kind of a little bit of a gold digger, to be honest. But she's Harry's problem, not ours. Chris says, when you leave the royal family to be a citizen, you give up rights to a police motorcade. Absolutely. Yes, I agree with that. And that's pretty much what he wants. He wanted what he was used to, what he has always had growing up. But like I say, if you decide you don't want the role anymore, you shouldn't really be surprised that you don't get the benefits and the perks that you had before. Nearsighted Cyclops says, I'm thinking Lizzie might end up being the last of her line. Absolutely. She will most certainly be the last queen that we have for a very, very long time, because we have kings lined up after her. But I like her. I always have. I've got a lot of respect for the queen. Snorted Pooper says between them, Chuckles and Andrew have done a lot of damage to the royal family. They have, yep. And I would imagine, at least with one of them, there's a hell of a lot more that hasn't come to light. So it's a case of watch this space. But yeah, can you imagine how hard it would be to continue day after day when you've got a family acting like some of these family members? And hello and good afternoon to Jim the Viking. Good to see you. Hope you're having a good one. And Makani, good morning, sweetheart. Hey, great to see you as always. I hope you're having a great day. Colin says, I'm on the yes side. Yes. And yes, there's a reason our monarchy has survived all this time. There is, absolutely. It is, it's an institution. It's what we're known for. We've always, the monarchy is part of, it's part of Britain, basically. I don't think it's going to go anywhere, but I do think that it's going to be a problem down the line. Let's see what else you guys have got to say. Sean Connery versus Applesauce, Queen Elizabeth II, carrying the royal team since 1953. Absolutely. I like the Queen Mother as well. I thought she was pretty cool too. Let's see what else you guys have got to say. It's not a people says I'm willing to step up and be adopted by the royal family. I'd be inexpensive. Just a lifetime open account at a nice pub would do for me. That sounds good. I would love to see a polar bear in the royal family. I think that would be amazing. Just see you up there on the balcony, just casually waving with the Queen. That would be brilliant. But I thought this was kind of a funny story, and again, it is a case of you got what you wanted, but you lost what you had, Harry. So deal with it. And it's worth pointing out that just looking at this article, all the pictures that they've linked, he looks absolutely miserable. She's all smiling and happy, and he just looks like I don't want to be here. The only pictures I've seen where he's happy is the pictures with him and his kids. Bless him. Oh my gosh. Let's see. So the last thing that I wanted to bring up today. Now, you know me, guys. Let me add this to the stream. If you need a bad take, one of the best places to go is generally cbr.com. But I did come across, just scrolling through, as I do sometimes, a article about Assassin's Creed Black Flag that I actually agree with. So I thought, just to round things off and just to kind of lighten the mood a little bit, we'll talk about one of the best Assassin's Creed games, one that I love, I've got to admit. So, they say why Black Flag is still the best Assassin's Creed game. Assassin's Creed has gone through some serious changes over its history, but 2013's Black Flag is where the series truly hit its peak. Agreed, it was a fantastic game. Since its debut back in 2007, Assassin's Creed has become a phenomenal success, which means citing any one game as the best is bound to cause heated debate. Some entries have proved diversive, others disappointed. But there is one that stands out across the multitude of titles for being unlike any other Assassin's Creed game before or since, and that is Black Flag. In many ways, Black Flag is the standout purely because it took the franchise's established gameplay model and reformatted it into something original. It really did. Previous Assassin's Creed games focus heavily on overarching Assassin's narrative, always linking the story back to Animus, the Templars, and the struggle for the control over the pieces of Eden. The original Assassin's Creed established the basic template for future games of Ezio trilogy, expanding the story and gameplay. At the time, there was a sense that Assassin's Creed franchise was getting stale. The Ezio trilogy is exceptional, but even then, there were hints of things becoming repetitious, especially by the time of 2011's Revelations was released. Not a game that I liked, I've got to admit. Didn't think it was that great. I thought they had kind of peaked at where they were going, and unless they really kind of changed things up, there wasn't really much that they could do with the series. When Assassin's Creed 3 shifted the focus to the American Revolutionary War, critics and fans regarded it as one of the weakest entries, failing to evolve gameplay and suffering from a underdeveloped protagonist. There were issues that Black Flag rectified. These were the issues that Black Flag rectified, sorry. Initially, hardly anything gave the impression that it was beginning an Assassin's Creed game at all. The action now focused on a rip-roaring pirate yarn set on the balmy seas of the Caribbean during the 18th century. It went on. It outwent the old reliance on land exploration and a broadly uniform location, and in came a nebulous network of towns, settlements, islands to explore via the Jackdaw. Protagonist Edward Kenway's iconic brig, and I loved being able to sail around. One of the weirdest but funniest things, and I think it's mentioned just down below, so I'll get to that in a second, was what the crew does whilst you're sailing, especially when you're trying to do stealth missions. This is one of the areas in which Black Flag excels. By relocating to the sun-soaked shores of the Caribbean, the game feels like a complete departure from the series' past. The varied settlements keep things fresh and varied. You didn't have to put varied twice in that sentence, in contrast to the claustrophobic locales of previous games, whilst the focus on ship-based combat and travelling is well executed. Sailing the crystal blue ocean of while the sea sweeps around you and your crew sing authentic sea shanties is an absolute pleasure. It is, and they sing a lot. They sing constantly. There are songs that you can unlock as you play the game, so it just adds to the repertoire, but they will start singing randomly. So you can be on a stealth mission trying to navigate in the dark up to a castle or a settlement, or trying to get close where you can, board another ship, and your crew will be singing, What Should We Do with a Drunken Sailor? Which just always used to make me laugh. Through Black Flag's combat, though Black Flag's combat remained largely unchanged, it's an extremely accessible system that allows players to utilize muskets, dual-wielding swords, and pistols as protagonist Edward Kenway cuts his way through hordes of enemies at will. The combat is at best when it's contextual, be it storming a fort or boarding an enemy vessel and then dispatching an enemy captain as cannons roar and muskets flash. The series' core stealth missions, meanwhile, are reinvigorated by this new exotic setting. Levels such as sugarcane and its yields end up ending up exciting and well designed as the players sneak around a plantation trying to sabotage the British. Yes, you do. Black Flag is simply fun at its core. Other installments have boasted more contextual narratives, but Black Flag's focus has always been on the experience itself and telling its own story and crafting its own characters in the process. With a cast featuring Calico Jack, Anne Bonny, and Blackbeard himself, the game's story, characters, and mechanics complement one another perfectly, moving things along at a roaring pace as Edward roams the seas, seeking fortune and liberty in the Caribbean. Sequences such as the Observatory, where Edward fights natives in abandoned jungle ruins, and Do Not Go Gently, which sees Edward and Blackbeard ambushed by the British Navy, are brilliant additions to the Assassin's Creed canon. So it ends in saying, still, Black Flag isn't perfect. The concessions made to the overarching Assassin storyline do sometimes feel clunky and strange in a game that is literally straining to be freed from its own history. This also means that any return to the Animus frustrates the pace of the main narrative. Nobody could claim either that Edward Kenway's adventures are the weightiest in the series has to offer, a turn off for some who prefer their stories with a little more bite. I really liked it. I liked that it wasn't so heavy. He was a fun character to play. He was interesting, and it was a really nice kind of diversion from what we'd had before. I think if they had done more like the Black Flag game, I think the overall series would be probably better received. However, the overall game is still an excellent achievement that Ubisoft has yet to match. The Assassin's Creed series is often weighed down by its massive past and labyrinthian story, always trying to squeeze the Assassins or the Templars into its variable historical settings. While Black Flag certainly has made concessions to its past, it's still enjoyable because of how little regard it has for its history. Black Flag isn't designed solely to satisfy returning players, but instead to elicit maximum player enjoyment from its rich setting and colourful cast. Black Flag liberates itself from the past and thus stands as arguably the best Assassin's Creed game yet. I would agree with that. I think that's where it ends. So let me jump back and remove that. Jen says Anne Bonny had some big kahunas, indeed. Hello to Low Spec Linux Laptop. Good to see you. Hope you're having a good one as well. And Shane Nolan, good to see you as well. Cam Cam says, that sounds fun, singing sea shanties and pillaging. It was a lot of fun. Isaj Melody says, raw port. Jamaica falling into the sea is the 401 of pirates. Colin says, was that combat ship-based or ship-based? A little bit of both, but ship-based, indeed. And Shield Ward of Dragons, good to see you as well. Says, what's up, everybody? Hey, hope you're having a good Monday. Good to see you as well. Jennifer says, adding pirate costume to the list. Absolutely. And I would say if anyone hasn't played in the Assassin's Creed games, I would say pick up Black Flag. I think it's probably the most enjoyable for anyone who doesn't want to be bogged down by all the lore surrounding the games. I had high hopes for Valhalla, but I've heard mixed things about it, so I probably will still pick it up because I would like to play it. And hey, it's got Mimir in. You know how much we love Mimir, but I really love Black Flag. Brightest Day, hello, love. Good to see you. Says I stopped after Black Flag. I did for the longest time. I just didn't pick the games up after. Oops. He says Al Importuno is a cheat. Project Storytime never cared for the modern corporation thing in Assassin's Creed. Just let me be a stealthy assassin. Absolutely. And I think that's kind of what they need to get back to, get back to the core of these games. But I really enjoyed it, and I thought it was at least an interesting enough article just to cover, just to talk about something fun, because I love to talk about video games, guys. So let me say a massive thank you to everybody who joined me today. You guys are the best as always. Hope you guys have a fantastic Monday. I will be back on Wednesday. Got something planned, but I have got a big show planned for Friday as well. So watch this space, guys. And just quickly, let me say a thank you to Cam Cam, who's become a new member. We have a new berserker to our army. So thank you, Cam Cam. Really appreciate that. I hope you have a fantastic time, and it is great to see you. I think probably this week as well, guys, we're going to try and do a member stream. So probably Thursday, I think, would be a good time. I'll put it up, I'll do a poll on the channel, and whichever time you guys think is the best, and we'll go for that. And we'll have a bit of a catch up because we haven't had one this month so far. And it'd be good to get to chat to everybody. So big thank you, Cam Cam. Max said, thank you for a great stream. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Really appreciate it. Thank you, Chris Wood. Always great to see you. So, guys, have a fantastic rest of your Monday. Have a wonderful week. Look after each other, and I will see you again soon. Take care, guys, and thank you.